Welcome back to the Lost Constellations. I'm John Barentine, Director of Public Policy at IDA. Throughout International Dark Sky Week 2020, we've explored constellations that once appeared on star charts, but that were discarded in the early 20th century in a process that gave us the night sky recognized by modern astronomers. Today's lost constellation is one of the most obscure figures to appear on European star maps of the 17th and 18th centuries, and its exact location on the night sky was even in doubt for some time. Rhombus is a rectangular figure representing a sound-making device commonly called a bull roarer. This constellation first appeared on a 1621 globe called Globus Celestis, published by Isaac Hebrecht, a professor of astronomy and mathematics in Strasbourg, France, then a free city in the Holy Roman Empire. He was also a doctor of both medicine and philosophy. But Hebrecht is probably best remembered in the history of astronomy and science for being the first person to correctly determine the altitude of a meteor in flight, about 150 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, using geometric triangulation of observations made from different locations on the ground. Hebrecht left no written description of Rhombus or his understanding of what the figure represented, but some useful insight into his motives is indicated by its shape. Although it has been interpreted as a tool like a carpenter's square, its name refers to the Latin word rhombo, in turn derived from the ancient Greek words rhombos, meaning a spinning top, and brembo, meaning I turn around. The classical sense of this word indicates an object that we would now call a bull roarer. Representations of these objects are known from at least the Upper Paleolithic period, from 10,000 to 50,000 years ago, and they may have been used in religious ceremonies. In the classical Greek context, the bull roarer was intended as a means of commanding silence and reverence in conjuring the presence of a god. When attached to a length of rope and swung overhead in a circle, the turbulent flow of air over the object results in a hissing, growling sound whose volume grows louder or softer depending on the speed of its motion. Given the period of time in which this constellation was introduced and the cultural importance of bull roarers in places like Australia, the constellation Rhombus may have been intended to commemorate an age of exploration when European ships traveled to the southern hemisphere for the first time in large numbers. Rhombus, sometimes called quadratum, persisted on charts of the night sky for 100 years before it disappeared in the middle of the 18th century. Some of its stars were repurposed to form the modern constellation Reticulum, the reticle, by Nicolas Louis de la Caille, after spending 4 years in the 1750s studying the night sky at the Cape of Good Hope in present-day South Africa. In fact, for centuries, astronomers thought that Hebrecht intended for his constellation the very same stars that la Caille chose when he created Reticulum over a century later. But a careful comparison of both historic and modern star charts shows that it is a much larger constellation, taking up parts of both Reticulum and neighboring Hydrus, the water snake. To find the stars that once defined the corners of Rhombus, first locate the familiar figure of Orion, the hunter, and follow a line from its 3 belt stars southeast to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. From there, go due south to the next brightest star in the sky, Canopus. Far to the west of Canopus, look for another very bright southern star, Achernar, also called Alpha Eridani. Almost exactly between the 2 stars are the stars of the constellation Reticulum. Its brightest 2, Alpha and Beta Reticuli, form the 2 northern corners of Rhombus. To find the other 2 corners, continue south toward the south celestial pole until you encounter the only bright star in that direction, 3rd magnitude Gamma Hydri. The final corner is Nu Hydri, a few degrees to the southwest. Join me again tomorrow when we'll examine a lost constellation representing a nocturnal mammal that seems to fly across both the forest and the night sky.